Hi.
Hello, here we are.
Again, another week. And what a week it's been.
I know, on the international scale as much as the national scale.
Yeah, all that terrible stuff happening in Israel at the moment. Terrible. And it's hard to know exactly what to think about it.
That's right. Well, obviously Hamas have come out with big guns quite unexpectedly, unprovoked attacks. It's pretty awful.
And what they've attacked women and children and families is just horrible.
And yet then Israel feels like they need to bring up the big guns and retaliate.
Yeah, that's right. And so it's torn Australia apart too, in all that. And it's interesting, isn't it, that Israel tend to still operate with an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
That very much thing. So Old Testament way of dealing with things.
Yeah, they haven't sort of understood the grace that Jesus opens up for us in a profound way. And so therefore Hamas do one thing, they hammer them back. And then Hamas remember it from the past. And so they want to hammer Israel back. So now they've done it again.
And there's no winners. It's just continuous terrible cycle. It seems ridiculous.
Yeah, it's sad. That's the way in which the world often operates. And it's so polarising. It's polarising in our country as well. And then we've got the referendum this week.
That's right, and that's polarising too.
It's become so polarising,
one side or the other.
Yeah, whether you're a yes or a no. There's good arguments, I think, on both sides and good reasons. And why can't we learn to disagree? Why do we have to make the other person out to be an enemy if they don't quite agree with our position? Is really quite difficult. And whichever way the vote goes, it's going to be divisive in our country. It's really quite sad.
And again, there's no winners, is there? It just continues to cycle somehow.
Certainly the country doesn't win in all that. And so it's really quite sad. So I think the tip that I would like to today, the little thought for us all is, given that polarisation, given that division, what does it mean for us to be peacemakers? Peacemakers that Jesus calls us to be. Blessed are the peacemakers.
So do you reckon Jesus was a peacemaker?
Jesus was. He attempted to be, but he so upset the status quo that, like keeping the division, that they actually had to go at him. But he didn't retaliate.
Yeah, true.
He actually did what he taught. He didn't retaliate.
But there wasn't peace around him. He caused upset and he caused...
In some people's hearts, he brought a lot of peace because they came to know that God looked after them, that God loved them, that God cares for them. So he did bring peace, but in terms of people who wanted to hold on to the status quo, no, that wasn't
the power
very peaceful.
And the control.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that didn't like him.
No, that was quite difficult in that. But Jesus' message, which ultimately sparked an incredible revolution, which was what does it mean to love and care for each other.
And love your enemy, which is the thing that even we find hard today. It's very much a given that you're going to love people, and that seems to happen more, especially more than the Israelis and Palestinians.
Yeah.
But
so
loving your enemy is the hard thing.
Yeah. So in this moment of polarisation, I think it's good for us to reflect, to pray and ask God, how can I be a peacemaker? In the conversations that I have with other people who may disagree with me, how am I a peacemaker?
And how do you live unconditionally in that? Because that's what God does with us.
Not easy. Ask Jesus. But that's what we're called to do.
Yeah. Give that some thought over the next few days.
God bless.
See ya.